Hi, everybody. So good afternoon, everyone. Please kindly signify with an emoji if you can hear me. I need to be sure that you guys can hear me, please. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. All right. So we're gonna give 3 more minutes for people to join the meeting, and then afterwards we're going to begin. So we have 3 more minutes. We're gonna start the class by 12:05.
They said they're giving everybody. Where's the time? We're starting by 12:05.
Okay, guys, so we are no longer waiting for latecomers. Just as somebody said in the comment section. Omeza, I hope you can hear me now. I wasn't speaking previously. I wanted to give like just few extra minutes for the latecomers to join the class before we start. So good day to everyone. My name is Oge, and I'm going to be your mentor for this class. Or I'm actually one of the mentors for this Party Code Bootcamp cohort. Okay, so welcome everybody. Like I said earlier, my name is Oge and I'm pleased to meet you all. So we're going to get right into the class for today. We're going to be talking about introduction to Figma. So before I begin, I would want to ask, is anybody familiar with Figma yet?
No, ma.
Okay, so that's for you. Is there any other person here that can say that, okay, they have an idea about Figma or they're familiar with how Figma works?
I'm new to the app, man. No idea, man.
Okay. Any other person?
Well, I actually use the app often, so yeah, I actually know how the app works.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. So what do you use the app to do, Gift?
So I just like, as I explained earlier yesterday, right? I've been designing some kind of like websites and app, and basically I've been using the app well, but I don't exactly have that design thinking and all that things yet. So that's why I decided to like join
Okay.
into the class, right? Yeah.
Okay, so when you say design thinking, are you saying that you know how to you know how to do the UI designs, but you basically do not have like you don't have like a good idea about design thinking or the UX aspect of design?
Yeah, about the UX, yes. And then the UI is not very refined. Like I tend to make some mistakes in some many things that I just get stuck in.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. Um, so I'm going to be talking about Figma today. So this class is basically introduction to Figma. I'm going to explain how Figma works and, you know, the whole application itself. Okay? So let me share my screen with you guys. You might have to mute your mic, please. Please, guys. So I'm gonna have to help you to do that. All right. So can anybody see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. Please, if you have any questions, you can always drop it in the chat box because when you ask me questions, I might not always have to check the chat to I might not always have to check the chat to see the questions, right? So just put everything in the in chat message so that you don't forget the questions that you want to ask me later on. So welcome to this class officially, guys. And we're going to be talking about Figma today. So I already have the Figma application installed in my system, and so I don't know how I'm going to have to like show you guys. But if you go to your browser, you just go to figma.com, right? You're going to see the more like the website, like Figma, like as a software application, right? And then you're going to see the options um to download, right? And if you don't want to download, you can just like register, put in your email address, log in, and then voila, you're already in. So once you're in, you're gonna see your canvas like this. This is how it's gonna look like. I need to give me a second, guys. I'm trying to. Okay. All right. So we have this here. I'm trying to hide this stuff so that it doesn't keep showing. So it's better off this way. All right. So this is how everything's gonna look like once you come. But this is the Figma. This is a Figma. I downloaded it on my application. They have the web version and they have the application version. So it just depends on the one that you want. When you download it into your system, this is how it's going to look like when you're in. I just changed mine to dark fill because I like the dark mode version better. Then once you come here, you're going to see your whole canvas. It's just like all of my designs that I have here. Come here, you're going to see where you have different, you can create different teams for people. Here you have your project. So if you're trying to like collaborate with people, you have the free version, right? So, um, when you get in, you have the free version. So the free version is limited. I think you can only have like 2 projects if you're working with people. That's if you're trying to collaborate with people. You can see here, it says upgrade to create more projects. So you need to like pay for the professional plan. But I think that's the only thing. Every other thing you have access to if you're on the free plan. Okay. Um, so now I'm just gonna go back to this. Now I had to open a new, so let me just show you how to do that. Can you guys see my screen, please? Just reply with a thumbs up so that I know that you can actually see my screen. So you have your recent files here, and then you have the draft, all project, and then trash. This here is just the configuration that Figma always does, like a conference thing. So I think they have one that's coming pretty much soon. So that's why it's just here. Then it's not always like this, is just very empty. So you have new design file. When you click on recent, it shows the recent files that you have actually viewed recently. So you're gonna see new design file, new Fig Jamboard, new slide deck, and then import. So new design file, you click here if you're trying to design something. You want to create a new file to design something. So we're just gonna name these gifts, right? Let me use gift name. So you can come here to like change the person's name, like the name of the, sorry, to change the name of the file, depending on what you're working on. So if you're saying that you're working on a website, you can say, okay, gift website. Do you understand? So just that's how it works. Then you can always click here to go back. New FigJam board. FigJam is basically for like your UX. So I don't know if Inse showed you guys these things yesterday, but well, let me just explain. So this is how FigJam works. I'm not gonna be explaining so much on FigJam today because we're dealing with the design aspect. FigJam is basically for your UX aspect. So you have a lot of templates that you can actually use to um hello. I can hear you. I'm here. So you have a lot of don't worry, I didn't disappear. You have a lot of templates that you can actually get from the FigJam if you want to make use of templates for your empathy map, your user journey map, your information architecture. Do you understand? So these are like processes that you have um to do or you have to follow in your whole user research phase. So if you're trying to work on a project for someone or for like a group or something, and then you need to run your UX and you really don't have time, you can actually come in here and then get template and then use that for what you want to use that for. So that's basically it. Here you have the timer. This is just to create pages. Then that's basically, so this is the hand tool. This is just to be able to move around the canvas. You can see, that's it. Here is the marker. This is sticky notes. So you can make sticky notes where possible, and you can always like type anything. You can see sticking my name here because I am the what? I'm the owner of this file. So if you're collaborating with somebody in the FigJam, if the person also makes a sticky note, it's going to have the person's name there, right? You can always like make shapes. You have different shapes. Oh, they've added new shapes. That's nice. So now you can see different shapes, right, that has been added. You have connectors, you have straight lines and lines without endpoints. So here is for your text. If you want to type, add the text or type in something, Then, just like that, you have also widgets where you can actually like get templates. This is where you can get your templates. So let's say I'm looking for empathy map. This is just a bonus that I'm showing you guys. So you can see we have different empathy map templates. Can you see? Student research map, value stream map, do you get? There's so many things that you can always like get here. If you're also trying to get for user flows, you can see you have a user journey map template here. So you can always like, when you add this template, it comes into your canvas immediately, and you can now see how it's like. You're able to like zoom in, and then you now start editing whatever it is, right? But at the same time, it's not a must use template. You can always do these things from scratch. It's very easy to do all of these things, right? It's just to bring out the frame, and then you can definitely come up with something like this, add colors and the rest of them. This way you can actually add your colors and all of that. So that's basically the short summary of Figma. So I'm going to remove that. So back to the file, then this is new slide deck. So this actually, it's not really long that Figma actually brought in this, and it's really, really nice. So if you're trying to make um you're trying to create a pitch, like a presentation deck, you can always use this slide. Then this is if you're trying to like import anything from your computer, you can see you can import your images, sketch files, PowerPoint, and PDFs. You just come here. So that's that. Explore community. Now we have a community whereby you're able to see a lot of people's work from different parts of the country. So this, instead of coming here, you can simply just come here. You can see it's also here. Once you click here, you can see community. Let me go back so that it shows the real canvas. This is exactly how the community looks like, right? Here you have design resources, wireframes, plugins, whiteboard. These are resources that can actually help you in your design process. So if you really don't have an idea about something, maybe you're trying to make a design presentation and you don't have an idea, you can always come here, search, right? Once you search on that search bar, you can see, for example, somebody has already done this. You're able to slide through and then see. And then if you want to use the template, you can just click on this and it comes immediately into your into your Figma, and then you can use it. So that's the reason for resources. That's the reason for, sorry, for community. Community helps you for things that you know that you cannot really like start doing on your own. And then if you have like multiple projects that you're working on, or you have a project that you're working on and then you have like limited time frame, you can always come in here to get your resources. You have the iOS material designs, you have Reina UI, everything is in here. Everything you're looking for is in here, trust me guys. Everything, including mockups, whatever you're looking for, you're always going to find here. The only thing is some might be paid and some might be actually free. So let's search for somebody should tell me what to search for. I just want to show you guys something. I'm waiting for somebody to say something. I really want this to be an interactive class. I don't just want to be teaching and talking and then you guys are not seeing anything. So I need a follow-up. So come up with something, anybody, so that I can search here and just show you guys.
A proposal.
Proposal. Okay.
Please, before that, please, how did you get to this community?
Oh, okay, here. So you know that this is actually the application, right? If you're
Yeah.
going on the web, it's quite different. But it's always advisable to download it. Just download Figma on your system. It's easy for you. So that every time you don't have to start going to browser to be like opening your design files. Do you understand? So you
Okay.
just come here. This is the main where you have to see all your layouts. Um, these like your settings. If you want to add another account. So this is where I actually change my theme to dark. If you want it light, it can be like this. But you see, this does not look good, guys. Abby.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I like this one. So then this is where you have all of that. Then to explore communities, you just go here. You can either go here or you go here. Can you see? So when you
Yeah.
click on here, it's still the same thing. It brings us back to this place. This is
So,
exactly how
sorry,
it's going to look
hello.
like.
Sorry, I didn't see the second option.
Okay. It's either you click here for communities or you can just click here for communities.
Okay, I'm fine now. Thank you.
Could we
Okay.
just search for finance?
Oh, first let's go for proposal. Um, okay, so you can see you have different design proposals here. You have proposal templates. You can see options for all products, paid plus free, all creators. When you click here, you're going to see paid versions as well. There are people that do these things, but because they put in so much resources and effort into these things, they just put like they just like put a fee to it. So you have to like pay to get it. You can see this one is $10. Um this is not this is free. This is $20. This is $5. This is $5. Can you see? And it's always in dollars, guys. It's always in dollars. I don't want to even let me not lie to you guys. So you know that you just have to like pay this in dollars. So this is just basically how it looks. If you click on this, then this is how it's gonna look like. You have to buy, right? But the good thing about this is before you buy, you can always scroll down. Once you come here, this is like a preview, right? If you come here, you're gonna see page cover, project proposal, right? You can always zoom in. Let me go back. So they can have an overview of what you're actually paying for so that you don't pay for it. At the end of the day, you're not regretting. This is a project proposal that I use to explain the work that will be done and outline deliverables for freelance clients. Now, this is really good something because this is something that you can actually show to clients when they reach out to you and say, oh, can I get your proposal for this particular project? I would like you to work on a website for me, blah, 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 blah. And then you just have to like send everything here. You can see payment terms here. Clients can pay all upfront, 50%, blah, 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 and the rest of it. So this is where you can actually preview. And then if you like how it looks like, you can just go ahead to do what buy. You can also check for reviews and you can see that it has over 6.5K user, which means that a lot of people have actually gotten this. So instead of going back, I can just come here to search. So let me search for finance.
The payment is a one-time payment, right?
Yes, it's a one-time payment, of course.
All right. Okay.
So under finance here, you can see there are a lot of finance applications, fintech applications, for like mobile transfers, budgets, spending limits, different type of applications that you need that you're looking for. You just need to come, maybe you have a project, but you need like inspirations from somewhere. Maybe you've checked every platform and then Behance, Dribble, blah blah blah, and the rest of them, and you cannot really like get what you're looking for. You can always come here, but this is the free version, guys. If you come here and click on paid, you're gonna see the paid ones. This is $38. Can you see that? This has already been paid for. Oh, you still have to buy. This is a finance app iOS UI kit. It's a mobile application for um finance application. Can you see all of this? So that's that about that. I've wasted enough time on this. So let's get right into the Gift website. So Gift now has a website, guys. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna see here is this, right? This is where you can actually like have different options, files, edit, view, objects, arrange vectors. I'm gonna explain all of this. Now, plugins. Plugins are like shortcut to what can actually help in your design process. It could be icons, it could be images, it could be mockups. right? They're all called plugins. You have widgets, you have preferences, if you want to like remove some things, color profile, keyboard layout, blah, blah, blah. Then libraries, you can always click your help an account. Then here is where you have to like, your mouse or your cursor has to be on this for you to be able to move around the stuff. You get what I'm saying, guys? Because if you click on scale, scale is different. Scale is when you're trying to like scale something. I'm going to show you an example of that later. Then this is the frame. You have frame, you have selection, you have slice, right? Selection is when you're trying to like group designs. Maybe you want to arrange everything in your canvas. Then you have frame. You can always make a frame like this, any, do you understand? If you click on this, you can always make a frame. You can see that Figma automatically arranged everything for you. The first one I did is what, frame 1. Second one I did is what, frame 2. But you can always rename them. That's the thing. So I can rename this to what, John, and I can rename this to what, good luck. So you can always rename your frames so that you don't get confused in your design process, because you can say, okay, I want to make a kind of design. I want to bring this in here and just resize. Maybe you have a kind of design that you're trying to do. When you bring this in here and resize them, you set it in the middle, right? I'm just trying to show you guys something. So you can know that, okay, if you click on this, you can easily move around. But now where is good luck? This is good luck in here, right? Is this for you to just come here? Maybe you want to make an edit to this, right? Maybe you want to increase the size or something. You can easily just come here and you know, okay, this is actually what good luck's frame. So that's the thing about what's renaming. Like I said, guys, if you have any questions, please just put it in the chat box, please. Because if you ask a question, I might get distracted and I might get distracted in explaining your question and just know when not to move forward. So after the frame, I already explained selection and slides. So we're moving to shapes. This is like all shapes. So you have rectangle, lines, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and then place image. So this is a short for images, right? So if instead of me going here, click on file, place image. Once you click on place image, it takes me to my system. Can you see that? So I can actually like choose to bring in this image now. And I resize it. This is a footer design for a company that I worked with, right? So it's an example of what I'm saying. You can easily bring it here. So it's the same thing. There are different shortcuts. I can still come on here and just scroll down to place image and still what? Bring in any image of my choice. Do you understand, guys? So there are different shortcuts. You can also see here that it says Control Shift K, right? If I click Control plus Shift plus K, it's going to take me to this. Can you see? So I use Control Shift K a lot because I don't want to start coming here and before I start clicking on this. When you get familiar with the application, you're going to when you get familiar with the application, you're going to get used to the shortcuts and every other thing. Okay. Then we have all of these shapes here. Let me delete this. So now you have star, you have polygon. If you're trying to like, this is a polygon here, and you can always come on here to like increase the So when you click on the polygon, you're seeing that it says 100, right? You can zoom in. So when you're trying to zoom in, I don't know if you're using a trackpad or a mouse, but you can always like just zoom in on your on your system, like, and then you can just zoom in straight. And you can always like resize however way you want. However way you want. Then you see this small dots you have there, these circles. You have these small circles here, right? you can see that it's a rounded circle. It's called a radius. So you can always come in here. You can, in case you want to like change the shape, right? You want to change the shape. You can see automatically it gives you a circle. You can do this. When you do this, you can always come here and resize, however way that you want. Can you see, guys? So that's basically that. You also have, I remember that if you look at this, please see that for every shape that I click, it remains there. It takes, you understand, it takes off that shape because that's what I actually click on last. Then you have rectangles. Now, rectangles is not the same thing with frames. Guys, please listen up. Rectangles are not the same with frame. A rectangle can be in a frame, but a frame cannot be in a rectangle. Now let's practicalize that. I'm gonna duplicate this. This is Control D. You just duplicate, right? When you click here, you duplicate. So I have like two different versions, right? Now we're gonna experiment this. So you're gonna see this is rectangle, this is a frame, right? So we're gonna bring in this rectangle in the frame and let's see how it sits. Can you see? Okay, let me make them the same shape or reduce it a bit so that we're going to be able to like see it properly inside. Let me add a color to it. I'm gonna show you guys how to like get colors.
Wow.
Okay, so let me use this, right? So I'm going to duplicate this, Control D. I'm going to delete this and just click on this and Control D. You can, if you look here, you're gonna see that for everything I'm duplicating, it's automatically arranging them for me. Can you see that, guys? It's telling me, oh, this is frame 1, but I can always rename them however I want. So now, a rectangle can be in a frame, but a frame cannot be in a rectangle. Let's practicalize that. This is a rectangle. I'm gonna bring it inside this frame. Oh, I duplicated this 3 times. So I've deleted that one. Can you see? These are alignments that can help you with your alignment. You see, it's align left, align horizontal, align right, align top, align vertical center. So this is horizontal center, right? I need this to be in the center. So it's going to be, you can always use this red lines in case you don't want to use this, right? Let me zoom in, guys, so that you see what I'm doing. You can always use these red lines to help you with your, can you see the red line, guys? Please, guys, respond, please, so that I know that you guys are following.
Yes, I
Yes,
can
we
see.
can.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes, clearly.
Okay.
We can.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can. Yes,
Okay,
we
sorry, I
can.
think my network messed up for a bit. Okay. So you see that when I'm trying to do this, there's a red line that shows up. It's telling me that, okay, right now, this particular rectangle is in the middle. When I try to position for the vertical aspect, it tells me that, okay, now vertically and horizontally, it is what? Aligned what? Center. Can you see that, guys? So these red lines help you with what? With alignment. So that in most cases, you really don't have to start using these to align. You can easily just use the what? Use the red lines. Now we're back to this. You can see that the rectangle is inside the frame. Can you see, guys? If you click here, you're going to see that it's only the frame. If I click on this frame, I can move it around. The rectangle is not out. Can you see that, guys? Because the rectangle is inside the frame. If I open this frame, see that the rectangle is inside. Can you see that, guys? So now let's do for this one. We're going to bring this frame inside this rectangle. Can you see, guys? It's not staying. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yes.
You see
Yes.
that it's not working. This is rectangle 4,
Okay.
and this is the frame. When I put it here, look at what it does. It's moving on
Covered it.
top. It's not entering inside the rectangle. Can you see now? So if I click on the frame, I want to move it around. Only the frame will move around. The rectangle is not together with it. Can you see that, guys? So this is rule. This is a very important rule or part of a principle in design. Don't use rectangles. You use what? You can use rectangles there's some very rare cases where you use rectangles, right? Very rare cases, guys. And as we go by this class, maybe if I'm going to be the one taking you for high fidelity design class, I'm going to explain to you guys. Somebody just has to remind me when we get to that bridge, if I'm the mentor that's going to be teaching you guys, right? So,
Sorry, excuse me. Can you reiterate what you said we should remind you of?
okay. Is it good luck that just spoke?
No, it's not good luck.
No, it's Alvin. John.
Oh, okay. All right. So I said that you need to remind me about this. So I said I was going to show you guys how to use rectangle. Like there are rare cases in designs where you can actually use a rectangle. Okay. Hold on, guys. I don't know if I have a design short. I always have like screenshots of like images. Yeah. It is always going to zoom in, guys. So don't worry. That's how it used to. You can always like zoom out. Okay.
Sorry, I want to ask, what's the key for the zooming?
For zooming, no, you can
Yes, the
just
key.
use your just do that on your mouse. Right now, I'm not using a mouse or a trackpad. So on your cursor stuff on your system, on your laptop, if you're using a laptop or MacBook or Windows, just fold your two hands and just zoom in like you're opening them.
Okay.
Do you understand? That's how I'm able to do this. Can you see? Okay, so I'm trying to show you guys. That's why I brought in this. Now this is an onboarding screen. Oh my God, Chukuka, I'm so sorry. You might have to put down your question in the chat box. If you keep asking me questions, we're going to do this class for 5 hours. Okay, please. Okay, let me just take your question. Go ahead.
Okay, so like you said, there are rare cases where we use rectangles, right? So I'm
Yeah.
asking, like, when designing, let's say you're designing a particular section, and that section, like, you have to, like, kind of like separate it from the other sides of the design. Can't you like use a rectangle to just like, it's not like a rectangle that you use to like design, maybe.
Yes, you can actually use a rectangle for that, right?
Yeah.
But if you are going to be putting that section in the design, you might have to convert it to a frame. Now, I can't really show you guys now because I don't want to design anything. I'm just doing introduction to Figma. But this is a slide shot of this is an onboarding screens for for a crypto platform. It's called New Wallet. Now you can see here, these are my buttons. Now I collected snippets of this whatever from the other on-page screens just to use here, right, for the onboardings. But at the same time, you can design this with what? With rectangles. Why? Because this iPhone frame is a frame. So these rectangles here, these ones can be rectangles, but I use frame in these ones. I use frame because, like I said, I use them in the homepage design. So I just took it from there to use in the onboarding screens because I didn't want to like use illustrations for this onboarding screens for users. Do you understand? But on a norms, if you still want to do this, maybe you have not designed your homepage screen yet, you can use a rectangle. So it's just a rectangle, color black, then you write your text. You put your icon here, that's all. You can use rectangle for, okay, you cannot use rectangle for this one. Why? Because this has a drop down. This is a field text, and you might have to do what? You might have to put this in an auto layout. Do you get? I'm going to explain that. This one as well, you're going to have to use frame for this. But there are simple stuffs, excuse me, there are simple stuffs like this that you can use rectangle for. Can you see? Where you know that you're not going to do anything, it's just a normal, just once you bring in the rectangle, right? When you bring in the rectangle, let me zoom in here. When you bring in a rectangle, right, you can see that it's resize. I can always like change the curved edges because I want it round. This is too much. So let me give it a curved edge of 12. Why is it still round? 8. Now this is okay. I can just come here and change the color and say, okay, no, I want it like blue. Let me use red, right? Then I'm just going to click on text and come here and then write whatever it is I want to write.
Correct.
I can hear you. Okay. So I guess that person was not speaking to me. So you can always come here, click on text, and then do whatever you have to do. You come here, reduce depend on the font size, blah, blah, blah. Do you understand? So you can always like do things like this if you want to. This is wrong, guys. What I'm doing is wrong. Don't do that too. I wanted to resize everything inside here, but let me just reduce it from this. Let me reduce, instead of reducing it, the text is already small. I'm going to put it like this, and I'm just going to increase this. So, boy, the problem now is that, look at, if you click on this rectangle and you move, only the rectangle will move. But now let's use a frame and do this. Eight, right? I'm going to use the same color. I'm going to click on the text, Ctrl D, duplicate.
Please,
and
how
put
did you
it.
drop pen?
How did I do what?
How did you use the drop pen to copy the color?
Okay, once you click on the frame, you click here. This is called color picker.
Okay.
Once you click on this, it will bring in any color you click on. You can look at this place, guys. When I click on any canvas, just be looking here. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Any color you want is going to pick it around. So I just clicked on this and then it just automatically replicated the same color that I have here. Do you get? So now you can see that we have the same thing here, right?
Yeah.
But I can move my frame with the text. When I click on this rectangle, I cannot move it. Can you see, guys? I mean, I
Yeah.
can move it,
Oh,
but the
okay.
text is not
Yes, yes.
inside. Can you see? That's the problem. But when you click on the frame houses every single thing.
Yes.
But this rectangle cannot do that. So that's why it is advisable that you use frame for everything that you need to do, right? Most of the time, you need to have to use frame. So I'm going to clear this out and let's get back
So
to the next one.
frame have different shape.
No. Frame is just frame. Frame
Okay.
does this is where you go to for your shapes.
Okay.
So if you click on a frame, you can use a frame. A frame is what houses everything. I can come here and click on circle and bring in my circle here. You can see that this circle is too big, right? If you come here, you're going to see that the width and the height is what 100, 100. I'm going to lock in ratio. Lock in ratio means that you want to resize this, but you don't want it to affect the shape. Listen, guys, this is very important. When you lock in ratio, it means that you want to resize this, but you don't want the word to affect the shape. Now, you only lock in ratio when two of them are the same size. Now, let me show you an example. We have this, the width and the height is 100, right? I already lock in my ratio, and I'm going to do what? Reduce. I want to reduce to what? 50. Look at what happens. Automatically, the height is what? 50. Can you see, guys?
Yes.
Now, let me duplicate it and bring it here.
Yes.
Let me show you a different example. Let me put it back to 100 like it was. Now, this is 100, right? So let's say if I don't lock in my ratio and I want to resize it, if I click on 50, look at what happens. Can you see, guys?
Okay. Yes.
The height is still what? 100. It's not maintaining the same shape.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, but this only happen, you can use this if you want an oval shape. But a lot of times, if you want to maintain the same size of the shape, you have to do what? Lock in the ratio.
Ratio.
Do you understand, guys? So now let's go back.
Yeah.
So let's say we have something like this, right? And I want to lock in ratio and then resize it. Look at what's going to happen. Let me say I want to increase the width to 75. Look at what happens. You see what happened here now, guys? As I'm increasing the width, the height is what? Increasing. Can you see that, guys? It is not what? It is not the same. That's why it is. But if I open the ratio now, and I make the height 75, right? I now lock the ratio. See what happens. You see that it's back to what? To the same size. It's completely rounded. Everything is the same size. Then this is just an arc. If you're trying to make an arc, maybe you're trying to design an arc or something, we always use circle for it. Maybe you want to do a pie chart, right? And you have this. You can always duplicate this. Control D, right? Turn it upside down. You can always come here and impute it yourself. That's minus 118. Because sometimes it might not be accurate. Then you have this. I can choose to make this color what? Purple. And I'm going to make the other one a lighter color. Can you see? This can be used to like show like a chart or something to represent a chart, right? Can you see now, guys? If I still want to reduce it, I can always do like this. Can you see? I can click on this one. I can reduce it here. But it's going to affect this one here. I'm going to reduce it like this. Right? Then I can click on this and what? Duplicate. Just so that I have what? A different version. Can you see, guys? So I'm going to do this. I'm just trying to show you guys an example. I'm going to come here. So can you see, guys? So this is just like an example of what you can also like do. So there are so many things that you can use your shapes to do, but as you keep learning, you're going to keep seeing them. That's why you need to practice more. You don't just learn, right? You don't just like watch videos and just like close your laptop. You need to practice, guys. If you don't practice, you will not learn. You will not understand. That's the truth. So make sure that you always practice. I think the video of the recording of the class always comes out, so you can always practice this, guys. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to just highlight all of them and delete. So I have explained this to you guys. So I'm going to go back to, we're done with shapes, right? We wasted a lot of time on shapes. This is called the pen tool. So the pen tool is when you're trying to like draw curved edges, right? You have this. Can you see? So if you're trying to like make a point, not make a point per se. Let me zoom in, guys. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
You use your pen to like, now particularly you can see that I'm drawing a particular shape that I want to use in a design. Can you see? This is different points I'm making, right? Now, let's say I want to stop here. I'm done with this. I'm just going to come here. This is called what? The bend tool. Now, the bend tool is if you want to like make a curved edge like this and you don't want to use the pen tool directly. I'm going to come in here. I don't know why this is zooming like this. Okay, so when you click on this, automatically can you see? That's giving me this. I'm going to click here. That's giving me this. But now you can resize it. Once you click here, can you see? However you want it to look like. If you click here, you can always like drag it forward and, When you click here too, you can see that automatically this one is like that. You click here. Yeah. So I want to make like just a very curved or not curved, like a shapeless whatever that I want to use for the design. When you're done with it, you just click on done here and then you have it. It's showing me black because that's the color. You see that it's black. You can always come in here and change the color however you want. Then if I want to use the design, I can just bring in a frame. And click on this and just, can you see, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you understand? So it's just however you want to use it, you can just use it like that. So then you also have the pencil. So this one is just for like, will I call it calibrations, but you can see what it's for, right? It's just if you need to, you can also like hold shift and then draw like a line or something. So if I want to write, there are some designs that you see, and then you see all this kind of handwritten. When I say handwritten, not handwritten, you can see this kind of font, like the text is written like this, is in this format. Do you understand? So this is exactly how it is done. You can always like, I'm using my cursor to do all of these things. So you see, then that's it. You come here and then you can change the colors however you want. You see that it has different, this is round, square, and none. You can change it here if you don't want it to be 3 size. If you don't want the size to be 3, you can always reduce that. So you have this. So if I click on the frame now, I see that, but all of these things are vectors. Can you see how they showed up now? They're all in form of what? Vectors. So you can actually like house what? Everything and put them what? In a frame. You right click and then do what? Frame selection. So you have this. If I click on this now, I can change the shape, the color. Can you see, guys? So that's basically what the pencil. This is for what? If you want to get your components, there are there are components that are already added in the design. There are components that are already added in the Figma file. I think Figma did it. We call them like under assets. You can see them. You have the iOS and iPad iOS 18 for under libraries. You have material design kits. These are things, simple design systems. These are things that will help you in your designs. You don't have to start going to community. You just click here and then use whatever you want to use in your design. So let's just try out one. This is an iPhone 16 Pro, right? So I'm going to bring it in here. But you know why it's showing me black?
No, we don't know why it's showing you black.
I I thought you selected it from the onset that you want your canvas to be black.
No. I'm saying, do you know why this iPhone 15 Pro that I brought in is black?
Okay.
Because that's the color. It's already like a component. So if you come here, you can change it. This is blue. This is white. Can you see? So whatever, if you design this is the frame. This is like a mock-up. When you are done designing like a mobile frame, I'm supposed to show you guys that too. I'll show you guys.
Hi, so my under my asset is showing find asset by name. It's not showing all of this yet.
You've not started designing. I won't start designing to show all of this.
Okay.
Is that updated version of the Figma that you're using?
Free version.
No, I
Updated.
said, is it updated? Did you update that Figma?
I just downloaded it.
Oh, okay, all right. That means it's updated one. Just explore with shapes and then see if it's going to show up. If you don't, oh, what I did now is wrong, guys. If it doesn't
And
show up,
also, you can search for iPhone. It will bring
yeah.
it. That's what I did.
Okay.
Okay. So that's nice. So let's say you have this in your iPhone frame. I'm just going to do this as 16, and then once I bring it in here, you can see automatically my iPhone mockup is ready. This is just to assume that this has your has your designs, right? So you can see that you have a lot. You have buttons. Everything you want is here. If you click on buttons, this is button. You can insert an instance. Depending on how I'm still going to explain components and properties. So I'm done with
Hello,
these guys.
hello. Sorry, I was kind of lost when we got to this frame, this iPhone frame.
Don't
Please,
worry,
can
I'll
you
explain
just
that. I'll explain that later.
alright?
Okay,
Okay.
so put that in the message box so that I can always remember and get back to it. So I was explaining this. This is where you can actually get your components, your plugins. If you click on plugins, mine is showing this. The person that asked me a question before that just downloaded Figma, if you check here, you're not going to see anything, most likely because you've not started exploring on your Figma yet. But any plugin that you start to open, automatically comes on here. Can you see that? Then your widgets are like, if you're trying to like find something, anything that, that might always like show up, right? Then that's it. This is the hand tool. It's for you to be able to like move around the canvas. Can you see? I'm moving around the canvas. This is comments. If you're working with people and you're collaborating with somebody and they're going to be on the same, you just have to just come here. When you come here and click on, you can see I'm the only one in this file, but it says anyone can view. Let me copy the link and share to you guys so that you can actually see. I'm going to put that in the okay, guys. So I'm sure you guys can see that. So that when you click on it, who is the person that just downloaded Figma, please? I need to know you guys' name so that I don't be asking who is this.
Yes, Sunday.
Okay, Yetunde. So if you click on that link, you're able to follow up what I'm doing, right? So it's quite easy for you. So when you come here, you click on share. So if you're trying to bring people on that particular project, I'm waiting for you to join Yetunde so that I can show them what. If Yetunde joins, you're going to see her email address or her name here, right? And then that's if she views this file, right? And then if I want to make a comment, I can easily just click on this and then drop it here and say, okay, kindly adjust the menu bar. It's not properly aligned. So now I'm giving a comment to her design, right? I'm just going to tag her name. These are people that have been in my design. So I'm just going to like use anybody, right? I'm just going to tag this person and I'm going to click on this button. But I can't do that now because if I do that, the person is going to get this comment in their email address. So I'm just going to do that without tagging anybody's name just to show. So when you do that, automatically it comes here. So if Yetunde comes on this file, she's going to see that, oh, Oge left a comment. I need to check out this out. She's going to just come here and click on this and automatically she's going to see the comment. Then she's going to also follow up. She's going to be, okay, fine, done. It has been adjusted. Do you understand, guys? So that's why this comment is actually good. So I think we're done with this aspect. Let me delete this vector that's showing here. You have different pages. You can create pages. So if you're trying to work on a project, you can say first page. This is going to be where you're going to do all your research. Second page is for your For your visual designs. Another page might be for your mockups. If you're trying to create a presentation deck or a case study, do you understand, guys? Then these are like how to create the pages. Assets, I've explained assets. component, but I need to explain components. Sorry, let me change this to components so that I can explain components shortly, right? So we're done with this aspect. I've told you guys, I've explained all of this, right? And then this is where you can actually like name your whatever. I'm naming this what gift website, as you can see. I've explained this, how to share. Now we're going to go to this layout. You can see design, you can see prototype. Let me explain. This is when you want to put your design in dev mode. If you click on this, automatically your work is going to be in dev mode. But it's not going to do that because I'm using the free plan. But it's basically to like track your designs, and you can also like customize your plugins. If you're working with what developers, if you look here, you're going to see that it's going to show in develop. You can see code CSS. Can you see showing their display height padding, justify content, align items, blah, 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 and the rest of them. So that's how. Can somebody just tell me how to mute? I've forgotten how to do this thing. I don't like when this always shows in my. It is very, very annoying. Okay. Okay, now I can only hide that one. Well, let's go back to what's design mode. Then this for libraries. This is to present your design. I'm going to explain that later. Then this is just what your zoom options, right? Comments, annotations. If you want to zoom your presentations, you can always like use this. When you click on this drop down, you're going to see present and preview. I don't know if I have a single design on this. I want to show you guys something. So we have, this is my already designed what? Onboarding screens, right? I already downloaded it as an image. That's why it's coming as a what? As an image. Now, if I want to present this preview, sorry, I'm going to just come here and click on what? Preview. Okay, so it's not working because it's an image. You can only preview what? Preview your files. Figma is something else. Okay, I didn't explain this to you guys and nobody asked me. You didn't ask me how to get a frame. So if you want to design a website, just come on your frame. Once you click on frame, this shows up here. You can see you have phone, tablet, desktop, presentation, watch, paper, social media, Figma community, and archive. If you want to design an iPhone frame, maybe you're working on a design for mobile apps, right? You can see that it says mobile. The first thing you need to do is to do what? You go to your frame and then you go to phone and then you select your what? You select a frame. It's always, you can see they have Android and then they have what? iPhone. So if you're designing for iPhone, it's always best to use what? iPhone 13 mini. Why? Because it is more scalable. It is easier to do to scale that iPhone. So if you're designing with iPhone 13 mini, you can use any mock-up and to stay well. But if you use another iPhone, other iPhones, it doesn't really like project the design properly when you're trying to like use a mock-up. It's not going to like properly like stay well. So this is how you get your iPhone frames. Then you now can now add like a layout grid, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing designs for today. I'm just in an introduction. Then that's how you do what you start designing, right? Then if you're trying to get for a desktop, maybe you want to design a website. You go to desktop and you click on what? Desktop. 1440 by what? 0.2. Can you see? So let me just bring in shapes here. Control D. Control D. Control D. So I'm going to present this so that you guys can see. I can preview this actually. But you know why it's showing me this iPhone frame? Now, this is how preview works for iPhone frame. That's what I was showing you, trying to show you guys when I use this one, but it doesn't work for images. But you cannot use iPhone frame to preview what desktop. And it's showing me iPhone frame because I have not changed it. You go to your prototype, you go to show prototype settings. You can see it says device is iPhone X. So I'm going to change that word to what? To
Hi, please, I'm lost though. How did you get to the design and prototype side?
okay. When you're trying to preview your designs, right?
Okay.
Okay, now I can see that. Who is this Tentacion Black?
It's gift.
Okay. All right, so you can see that I was able to instantly see that somebody's on the file, right? It's very easy. So if you're trying to preview your designs, I was trying to preview this desktop that I did here just to show you how the preview works and how presentation works. If you click here, can you see?
Yeah.
So when I did preview, it brought up this. Now you cannot use an iPhone frame to preview what a desktop, like a website. You can see how the desktop is showing here is wrong. This frame is meant to be what? Is meant to be for what? For mobile designs like this. So that's why I said to change this, I go to my prototype here. You click on prototype. You have design, you have prototype. When you click on prototype, you scroll down, you see show prototype settings. Under device, you have iPhone X, you have model, preview, blah, blah, blah. If you want to preview the background, you can also change the background. So you click on this device here, drop down, and then you can change it. You have all the frames that we saw in when we clicked on frames is everything you're gonna see here. Can you see? So because it is desktop, I'm gonna use desktop. So you have custom size and you have presentation. Alvin, please just drop your questions. Unless if you keep asking me, I might likely forget what I'm teaching and just moved on to answer your questions. So when you click on presentation you can actually use presentation or custom size. These ones are all iPhone frames. This is iPad, Surface, Android, and the rest of them. Then you have TV, you have MacBook. You can use MacBook, but I don't like to use MacBook. But you can use MacBook. So I just mostly use what? Presentation. And then it shows up like you can see this is how website look like. This is to preview your website. If I increase this now, maybe my website is long. This is how to show. I can scroll. Can you see, guys? I'm scrolling, and that's why it's doing this. Let me draw something here so that you guys will see what I'm saying. You can see that whatever I'm doing is showing on the preview. Can you see?
Yes.
Gift, please remove your cursor from what I'm doing. Thank you. You don't know that when you come on here, I'm going to see that you are here. Okay, so you can see now, I'm going to restart this so that it shows. Because it's long, it's scrollable. Can you see? You can easily like be scrolling and then see. If I make it longer, it's also going to be it's going to be scrollable. Can you see, guys? So that's basically what preview. Then if you want to now present it, you can just click on what present. It's going to move to another words and then it's going to show like this. This is present, right? Then they have different options here. You can always come in here, enter full screen. If you don't want that, you say actual size. Now this is like the actual size, right? If you want it like this, do you understand? Then if you don't want it like that, you say fit width. You have fit width. Then you have responsive. So you can see, guys, it's just different ways, right? That you can actually just preview or present your design. Then These are all what alignments. I've talked about this before. Then under here, so whatever you're designing, this why this is showing frame here is because of what I used. Can you see? If I click on this iPhone frame, it's still going to show what frame. When you click on frame, it's going to show what selected one that I'm using. Do you understand? It means that anybody that come on this design and is trying to understand the frame I use, once they click on this and click on here, automatically they can see that, okay, I used what? I used desktop. So that's that. This is resize to fit. Now you have X, you have Y, this is your width, this is your height, this is to lock-in ratio, this is for your angles. I showed you guys if you're trying to like do something like this, you can see that your angles are increasing here. So if I say okay, minus 90, it's going to be like this. It mostly use this for images if you want to like change the angle of the image or something. Do you understand? Then this is like rounded edge. If you want to make the edge of your design rounded, let's put this back to 0. Oh my God. See? So you have this here. Um, the bit. See, guys. So however way that you want it. Can you guys hear me, please? My internet is messing up.
We can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So now this is also this is individual corners. If you're trying to just let me increase this to 40 so that we can see very well. Can you guys see that it's now rounded, right? So I'm going to click on it back. When I click here, you can see that every corner is 40. That's here, here, and then here, right? The 4 corners are 40. Now, this independent corners is if you want to make one size just round. So let's turn this to 0. I'm going to turn this to 0. We're going to turn this to what? 0. And we're going to make this what? 200. Can you see? So all those designs that you see, this is how they do it. That you see that one edge will be like this. Can you see, guys? Then, but here, come here, when you come in, it's going to show mixed, of course, because why? If you click on independent corners, it's only one side that's having the what? That's having the what? Corner radius. If I increase this to 500, it's going to be like, can you see, guys? It's the same thing. If you want it to take a particular place, use your what? Independent corners. Can you see? If I want this to also be 500, it's going to be like this. Can you see, guys? So this is how you can actually do that. Then you have clip content. Well, it's just always to ensure that your designs are always in like clip content. Like it's really very important. Although automatically it's always in clip content. So you barely touch this. Then auto layout, guys. You have auto layout, you have layout grid. Now this is what we call layout grid. This is an iPhone frame. The layout grid for an iPhone frame and a website is not the same thing. If you're designing a mobile app, you're going to click on the grid. When you click on grid, let me remove this. It is white, guys. Can you guys see? Let me zoom in. Now you're going to click on layout grid, the plus sign. You're going to see grid 10 plus. You click on this, you're going to select what? Columns. So it's going to have a count of 4 and a margin of what? A margin of 16. The gutter will always be 20. You're going to leave your type in stretch, right? Automatically, if you want to change the color, this color you're seeing is just the color that they use to show the grid. If you don't want this color, you can always come here and change the color. Can you see, guys? So anything I'm going to be designing now will not pass this margin. Let me show you guys. Let me click on frame. Let me design something. I want to design a button, guys. Let me design a button. Let me make the edge to be what? 24. The button is going to be what? Green. And I'm going to put a text in here says what? Create an account. I'm going to set it to what to be in the middle, right? There are different ways of creating a button, but this is just like a lay method of creating a button. So when you're creating buttons, I'm going to come here. Automatically, the default font in Figma is always Inter, right? If you want to change your font, you can come here and change the font. You have a lot of fonts. There are some fonts that will not be here too. You also have to like install fonts. That's another day topic. Then you come here and change the weight. You see, you have medium, you have semi-bold, bold, you have italics and the rest of them, right? So let me use medium for this, and I'm going to change the font size to what? 16. Let me use 18. Then I'm going to do what? I'm going to set it in the middle. I'm going to use those red lines to guide me. Can you see, guys? Automatically it's in the middle. If you click on this now, this frame can move anywhere. Can you see? This is my button. But if I had used a rectangle, guys, you understand now? I've explained this to you guys a few minutes ago, right? If I use a
Yes, ma.
rectangle, it will not what? It will not what? It will not work. It will not stay. So that's why it's advisable to use what? Use a frame. Let me resize this button. This button is too big for a button. Exactly. So let's say this is going to be the button that is going to be here now for this mobile frame. It's going to be under here. Maybe there's going to be an image here or some other text. Then this is where users will click and say, okay, create an account. You can see that whatever I am doing is not exceeding the margin line. Can you see, guys? If I want to preview this, I'm going to click on it and do what? I'm going to come here and click on preview. You know why it's showing me like this? Because I've not changed the frame. Just like what I thought, what I said to Yetunde. I'm gonna go to prototype, click on show prototype settings, and change this from presentation. You know I changed it before. I'm gonna change it to what? iPhone 13 mini. See it, guys. Can you see? This is exactly. Can you see that because of how it looks, it's not exceeding the margin line? Can you see, guys? Because of how I design. So whatever you are designing should remain from here to here. It cannot go outside of this line. If it's like this, it's wrong. Can you see how it's looking here? Let me increase this one. Can you see? It's touching the edges of what? Of the person's phone. This phone now is assumed to be our normal phones that we're using. Like when the developer works on the product and the product is live, this is what it's going to look like, and it is bad. It is bad design practice. So yeah, that's why it is always good to do what? That's why there's a particular margin that is assigned for what? For mobile and desktop. So now I've explained this. Let me explain for desktop. How do I create a desktop frame, guys?
It's frame. Hey, hey, you go
Somebody
to
was
frame.
okay. I've gone to frame. What else?
Then
You click
by
on
the right
desktop.
hand side, you tap on desktop.
Okay, good. Automatically, I have my desktop, right? I can rename it if I want. So let me say I'm working on Yetunde's fashion website. You can always rename it, right? You can say automatically is renamed here. Then when I click on this and I want to create a what? The first thing you always is to create a what? A layout grid. I'm gonna give it what? Columns. So now this is going to be what? 16. So you can always use can you mute your mic, Zenith, please? Because of the noise in the background. You can always use a margin of 120 or 100. Depending on what you want, either of the two. right? But the most important thing is if you're using a website, you have to ensure that all your designs are responsive. I'm going to talk about that in the next class. It might not be me, but I think it's part of your brochure for this cohort. I think there's a responsive class. So that's why it is very important that you don't miss a class. Because if you miss a class always leads to the next class. You see that anybody that's not on this class today now, by the time they attend the next class, our teaching designs, they're not going to understand the basics because they miss this class. That's why it is very important that you don't miss the next class. Now I have done my grid. Can you see? I can now go ahead and do my designs. So anything I'm designing now has to stay within within the space. It cannot go outside of. That is why when you get to this point, let me zoom in, guys. Let me remove this. If you get to this point, you see that there's always a red line that shows. Can you see? The red line is indicating that I have gotten to my preferred point. Can you see, guys? If I go out of line and I'm trying to it tells me that, okay, you've gotten to the bridge point. So whatever you are designing is going to stay within within these lines. It cannot go outside because of what? Presentation sake. So if you're trying to present your designs, it's not going to be nice that when users are trying to open your website, they are seeing that whatever you have, it's not like outside, it's touching like the other four walls of the screen. It's going to be somehow. Now, the reason why I talked about responsiveness is because people are going to be viewing your your website with different devices. There are people that use, how you use a Windows laptop and they have different inches. The ones that are very wide, they have 14, 17 inches laptop. You have a MacBook. There are people that also use like a desktop to view. That's why whatever you are designing with desktop, you have to make it very responsive. People always say that designing the website is harder than designing a mobile application. But honestly, guys, if you know the basics, right, it's pretty much easy. It's pretty much easy to do to design the website as well. So that's that. After layout grid, okay, I didn't explain. Constraint is just basically where to align your whatever, right? You can see that automatically the moment I clicked on this center, it came to this point. It means that this will always be here. See, I need to give it a color so that I can show whatever I'm showing. Okay. When you're trying to view your designs proper, you can always hide the column. You just click on this show hide icon here. Can you see, guys? So now I have this. You can see that whatever I am doing, as I'm increasing the website, sorry, as I'm increasing the frame, the desktop frame, let me go up a bit because I'm going to increase it further. As I'm increasing the desktop frame, you can see that this is maintaining its position because I've set the constraints to center, left and center. Now, let me increase it by this. Can you see? It's not increasing. Why? Because the constraint is set towards left and center. Do you understand this, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me go again. Constraint is to help to position the frame or whatever element that your visual element that you're working with. So however you're able to position your frame, it works like that. Now let me Control Z. Now this is the size of the frame, of the desktop frame. This is an element in the design, in the frame, right? I set the constraint to center and then left alignment. It means that no matter how much I increase the height, it's going to remain at the center. If I'm trying to resize like this, it's going to mean by the left. Now, let me click on the frame itself and let's make it left and right. and center. Now look at what's going to happen. Can you see, guys? It means that whatever I am now
Yes.
doing, it is now resizing. And so even if I increase this T like T forever, it will continue to do what? To resize according to what? To how I'm what? Increasing the height. Do you understand? Sorry, the width. So do you understand, guys? So that's what I mean by what? By constraint. When you click on this constraint, let me change it now to scale. Let's click on scale and center. Now see what's going to happen.
So my app is not showing this auto layout and layout grid. And
Yes, because you need to create a frame. You need to have something in your canvas. If your
Oh.
canvas is empty, it cannot show all of these things.
Okay.
Let me delete this thing. This is what is showing in your own, right?
Yes.
Exactly. You need to create something.
Okay.
So that's what constraint means, guys. So I'm done with that. I've explained this layer means just this layer is like pass through. You barely use this except in cases where you want it to darken or you want to be like screen. Like it's just like if you're trying to create like a different you're trying to create a different what word would I use? A different layer to your element. Yes. This is pass through, which basically means that as long as you're trying to do this, it is particularly going to be seen. But by the time you now put this in, you see when it's in color bond, look at how it looks like, right? But naturally, your designs are always going to be in pass through. So you are barely going to do what? It's only in very rare cases that you use this actually. Now fill, you guys know fill now, right? This is color. You can always like pick any colors you want. You have the X code. This is the code I use. So if you're trying to hand off to developers, they're going to need this code to put in their coding, whatever, to be able to get the particular color that you use in that design, right? Then this is color picker. If you're trying to pick a particular design to use somewhere else, then you have custom, you have gradients, you have fill, and you have videos, right? This you can include a video in your Figma, but this is not working because I need to upgrade to what? Professional plan. Now image, you're going to just choose an image and it's going to take the space of this shape. That's what it means. Any image I bring in here now will take the space of this shape. Then you have gradient. If you want to make a gradient color, you can see it has different gradients here. I can always push this here. I can put this here, right? I can always change it back depending on how I want it to look like. Then this is a darker one, right? I can always come here and reduce the opacity to what? 50%. Because I want it to look like. So you're just going to just play around. If you want another one, you can always click. Another one will show up. Maybe you want this to be here, then you want this to be here or something like this. So that means it's progressing from a darker shade to a lighter shade, and then the lighter one. Do you understand? So it's just however you want. You can always tweak your gradients however you want it. Then this is just the full color, right? That's not about colors. Here is where you're going to create your colors. If you click here, you can create a color style, create a variables. I'm going to explain. I don't know if there's still time for me to explain that. Let me rush through this. Then stroke. Stroke is when you're trying to create a stroke. This outside part here is what is called stroke. Let me increase this to 12 so that you guys can see. Can you see that there's a black whatever here line? This is stroke. Can you see that, guys? This is what is called stroke.
Yes.
You can always come here to change the colors of your stroke. If you want it white, it can be white. Then you can always reduce the opacity however you want. Then here is if you want it inside center, then if you want it outside, depending on how you want it. Here you can always like increase the number of the stroke. Can you see? Look at the design. You can see that it's increasing, but the stroke is increasing. There's some designs that you're going to see like this.
Yes.
It's just what stroke that has been added to them. Then if you come here, if you want to add stroke per side, only the right will have a stroke. Can you see that, guys? Only bottom is going to have a stroke. If you want only the top to have a stroke, only the top will have a stroke. But if you want all of them is going to what? Have a stroke. If you click here, you can have what? You have different stroke styles. So this is solid and dash. If I want dash, it's going to give me this, right? Then the dash cap, you can have this. Can you see? You see some designs where they use something like this. Can you see that, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So you can always like
Yes.
change whatever it is here. Can you see that? So just play with it and see however one you want. So let's use this one. This is really very cute. Then however angle that you want. Can you see? I'm gonna leave it as the normal one. Then that's it. If you want to take it back to solid, you can take it back to solid. If you want a custom one, you can always create a custom one however you want. Can you see that, guys? Then that's that about stroke. Effect is if you want to have shadows. Now you have inner shadow, you have drop shadow, you have layer blow, you have background blow, right? Drop shadows is you have the X and the Y. That's the vertical and the what and the horizontal. Then you have your blur. Then you have your what. If you want the shadow to spread, that's when you like put your spread. So let's give this a blur of 30. This blur is not going to show why because I'm using this here. So let's change this to what? To solid. And let's reduce this to what? To 5. Let me make it 12. So you guys can see it a bit. Now let me zoom in, guys, so that you guys can see it. Now I'm going to increase this to what? To 40. This blur is going to be, there's a blur shadow around here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but because this stuff is actually small, you might not really see it very well. If you increase the opacity of the color, that's the color of the of the shadow. You can always change colors if you want. So let's say I want this to be 70. Can you see that shadow effect here, guys? Let me zoom in. Can you see it, guys?
Yes, you can see.
You can see there's a shadow effect. Exactly. Exactly. So this is how you do what? You do what? The shadow. Just play around with it however way you want it. Then if you click here, you're gonna see layer blur. Layer blur means that you want the element to be what? To be blurred. Can you see? It's gonna look like this. Then you have your inner shadow. Inner shadow is what? Inside, not outside. If you look at it, can you see shadows around here? That's why here it's showing black. Can you see that, guys? Exactly. That's what inner shadow is. Then when you click here, you have what? The background blur. It means that this background is going to be what? It's going to be blur. Can you see? So that's exactly all about what? Effect, guys. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove stroke.
Look at this thing that she did. She taught us. So this thing like this, we just shaping how you curve the edges, how you draw any shape that you want. Like this one too. This thing now. She told us about this frame. To curve it back, curve it back, curve it back, curve it back. Mashi. I'll do it.
Yes, you're going to do it. You're
Please,
going to do it, Adenike. Please move to your mic. Thank you very much. I
please,
trust you that you're going
yes,
to do
exactly.
it.
Like only the
But just help
instructors
me
should
to
talk, please.
mute your mic, please. So after that, I'm going to remove this color and we're just going to have this. Sorry. So export is when you're trying to export whatever your designs are. Like you can always click on here. So here is, I don't know if you guys, when you go online and you see some designers will say, okay, view in 4K, view in 4K. This is what they mean, guys. It's like when you're exporting your designs, you export it in like higher version so that it's always like very, very clear when you're trying to like post online or like show anybody or something, right? Then you can always download in PNG, JPEG, SVG, PDF, blah, blah, blah. You know that Figma is not only for designs, guys. You can always use Figma for your documents, right? I can bring in a frame, right? And say, Adeyinka's report. So I'm going to increase this. And then I'm just going to just continue typing. Blah, 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 blah. Do you understand? Like you can always make a document with, oh my God. You can always make a document with Figma, right? So you can see that you have this. Let me increase my. So once you click on this, you're able to, and you click on download. Once you click on export, automatically you have this. You cannot download in what? In PDF. However, when you want. If you want to preview your design, you can always click here and click preview. Now, this just started showing recently where you have color profile, same as the file. That's whatever you want. Now, the quality of your what? Of your export. You can see it here, guys. Then you have image resampling detailed, then that's it. That's it, guys. So I think, does everybody have an understanding of this whole layout now?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. So now let's move on to what? To components. The class is going to be ending really soon. Now this is the perfect way, or this is not perfect. This is a better way to create a button. I hate that when I start designing, automatically it shows it in what? In small text. It means I always have to come here to do what? I always have to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in, guys. Now, good. So you have a text, right? Now, however way you want your text to be, if you want your, okay, buttons are mostly center aligned, right? So we're going to do what? Change the alignment here. You can see that text alignment is not the same thing with element alignment though, guys. Now I'm going to put this text in what? In middle alignment, right? Center alignment, because I want my button text to be in the what? In the middle. Now I'm going to use medium. I'm going to use 18. I'm using Inter as my text. Let me change it to, let me change this font. No. This one looks cute. It looks fine, guys. So let's use this one. Create an account. You're laughing. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to just do what? Shift A. Shift A is what? Auto layout. Once you click on Shift A, automatically create a frame for your what? For your button. Now, I'm going to give it a color first. And say, okay, I want my button to be what? To be blue. Yes, guys. Can you see? Now, automatically, the horizontal gap between the items is what? 10, right? Most of you can leave this if you want, but I always remove this because I feel like it's not really like necessary like that. Then this is called what? Horizontal. Now we have padding space and we have margin space, guys. Padding space is not the same thing with margin space, please. Padding space is the space between here and here. Can you see? Let me click on create an account. When you click on the text, hold your alt pad on your system and then just move your cursor here. You're going to see that this is padding space, guys. The spacing here, everything that you see here, like this is called what? Padding space. Can you see that, guys? So because I don't want, this button is too big, first of all. So now let's do what? We're going to have to resize it. I'm going to give an horizontal padding of 8. And then I'm going to give a vertical padding of 8. I'm going to give it a rounded edge just because I want. It's not a must. You know, there are websites that you see and their buttons are straight, like this is not curved. So it just depends on what you're working on the project and how the client likes it. Do you understand? Now, this is my button. Right? I'm trying to resize the frame because I don't like that it's too big. So now, you see these things we have here? Now, this is create component. Can you see that, guys? This is to use as mask, and this is what union selections. Like if you want to create like bullying groups, and this is for what? This is for dev mode. Now, create component. Once you click on that, you see that the color changes. Automatically, it has now changed here. Look here, guys. Let me do Control Z. You can see that it is normal, right? When I click on create components, automatically it becomes like this. Can you see the color now? Now, this is how you know that it's actually what? A component. Now I'm going to name it what? Primary button. Can you see that, guys? Now, if I want to create a variant is when you have like a different version of what are made out of what? Out of a component. You can always use variables, but I'm going to be only explaining components today. Maybe some other time on the next class, remind me, guys, I'll touch variables for you guys before we now go into the next class for that day. So I'm going to create a variant here. Now I have another variant. Now let's say I want this to be what? To be an outline button. We have different types of button, guys. We have field buttons and we have what? Outline buttons. Now I'm going to change this to what? An outline button. I'm going to copy the text, right? The text called sorry, the button color code.
Xcode.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Then I'm going to use that for the what? For the text. So FFF is white. I just interchange it. Do you understand, guys? So this is what outlined. I'm going to add a stroke. I'm going to change the color of the stroke to this. Now 1 is too much. I'm going to reduce to what? 0.5. Can you see that, guys? Now I have what? Different what? Variant. I'm going to name this what? This is my button component. Sorry. Now this one is what? You can see it here, guys. Primary button. This is what? Secondary button. Now my component is ready. Let me bring in a frame. So if I want to use this button now in my design, right? I'm going to just click on, okay, so a lot of times it's always good to like move your buttons, right? So you see that we have a component page here, but I'm already designing the component page. If not, you just right click and you see that move page. It will show components here, but it is not showing here because it's already in the component page. Then when you now come to your asset, any component you have made, you see it in your assets. Can you see it now, guys? Can you see it now, guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you can see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we are not going to bring in the design, the button from here. Let me go back. Let's change it. This is components. This is component page. Then this is visual design. Now, you can see that. Why is it showing me this? It's meant to be on this. So you can see that this component I made is in Visual Design Abi. I'm just going to right click. Oh my God. Hold on, guys. Please give me a few minutes. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. So I already changed this because I wanted to show you guys something. So now let's assume that we're working all our designs on the visual design page, right? I'm going to just right click and move the page towards component. Do you understand? If you come on component, you're going to see it here. You just have to look for it. So let me use the pen tool. You see it here. Can you see? So I'm going to change this back and then go back to my designs page. Then I'm just going to, if I want to use all those buttons I've created as a component, I'm going to click on assets and then bring my button here. Can you see? I can now put it here in my design. So if you want to detach instance is like if you want to remove the components surrounding it, you can always click on detach instance and it becomes normal. Can you see it's no longer a component here? It means that you can now tweak whatever it is. But let's go back to Ctrl Z. Can you see?
Yes.
So that's basically what's component. You have to create a variables for the other one to show. I just realized that. That's why it's not even showing here. You can see it's only the button component that is showing. Unless I have to create them separately. So let's do that. Exactly. So now I have it separately. So I'm going to click on visual designs and go to assets. And now I have it separately. Can you see? So you can always like bring it in and then use in your designs. Do you understand, guys? So that's basically component. Variables work differently, right? So I'm going to have to explain variables in our next class. So now let me take all your questions, right?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My question is, for some of us that are not practicing this with you, when we are practicing on our own and we come across any difficulty, we can ask you in the group, right?
Yes, you can. You can always ask in the group. That's why we also have the recording of the class to always like go back to it. But even if you've tried and you still don't understand, you can always reach out, guys. Please, please reach out. My DMs are open. And then even if you don't want to come into my DM, send a message. Trust me, every mentor sees all the messages in the community group. Just drop your question, guys, and you definitely get a response. Definitely. Somebody's saying, mentor, okay, please take it easy. Please take it slowing. Thank you. Okay. So I'm really sorry about that. Good luck. Do I talk really fast, guys? Because I think this is the first time I'm having this comment.
I think at some point you were a bit fast.
Oh, okay, okay. All
Like
right.
a
So I'm
little
gonna
bit. Yes, you are.
Actually, ladies talk fast. So I'm not really surprised.
Like,
oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. I'm so sorry, guys. So maybe next time I'm going to take it very slow. I'm going to take it very slow. How can I open the page you are on? I don't understand what this question means. But what do you mean by page? You mean these pages I created here? Is she on this call? Is she still on this meeting? Tilope, are you here? Okay, so she's no longer on this call. What is mockup? Okay, guys. So mockup is like a presentation of your designs, right? That's mockup. That's is just mockup. So you see how you are able to present your designs, like how you want people to see them. When you design your iPhone frames, let me show an example. You see how you have this iPhone mini here, right? I was wondering why that was not moving with the buttons. Okay, so you have this iPhone frame. You cannot start presenting this now like this. Do you understand? That's why you always have mockups. So when you download it as an image first, you now come here. You have so many things in your libraries. We go to all your libraries, you're going to see different things, right? You're going to see mockups. These are mockups that I saw that time. If you bring in the mockups here, right, it's going to show whatever it is. You can now change the color of the mockup depending on what you want. If you want it white, it's still loading. Why is this mockup showing like this? It didn't show like this before. Okay, it's on now. Okay, it was taking time to load. So this is mockup, guys. So when you now download the image, right, you bring in the image here, Shift plus Control Shift K, or you just come here, scroll down, place image, and then bring in the image from your system that you've downloaded, open, right? Now automatically you bring in here, you now just put it inside the what? Inside it. Now this is a mockup. But it's looking somehow, guys. Abby? Is it looking somehow, guys?
Yes, it is.
Exactly, because it's a frame. You can see that the frame did not even enter the component. Look here, guys. This is the mockup. Oh. If I move the mockup, see, the mockup is moving without the frame. You know why? Because the frame did not even enter inside the mockup. So you need to make it as an image. But before you do that, you see that so this mockup is rounded edge. So you do what? Give curved edge to your frame. You can say 24. So that when you put it in, it's going to look like this. 24 is too small. You see that it's not the same size. Look at this is bigger than this. Let's make it 40. Now that's better. Can you see, guys? So this is now if this is what they call mockups. It's just to show the presentation of your what of your design. That's it. Then what else, guys? What other question do I have here? Can you give us aspect ratios for grid setups on mobile again? I don't understand this question. Aspect ratios for grid setups. You don't have ratios for grid, oh. Am I missing something, guys? If you're the one that asks this question and I don't understand, please explain. This is grid. When you are creating grid, it has nothing to do with ratio. This is ratio here. You cannot change the ratio. You cannot change the size of your iPhone frame. The only thing you can do is to keep increasing it if you have a longer design. That's why when you use, there's some mobile applications you use, you scroll up, because if you're designing it, designers always made it like it was actually long. That's why when you now present it, it will now like it's scrollable. That's the only thing. You don't lock in any ratio. Make sure that you don't touch this. This 375 by 812 is the most recommended iPhone frame to use for mobile applications, iOS. So you don't do ratios for this. The ratio I talked about is for shapes, guys. Shapes.
How about for Android?
Yes, the same thing for Android. You don't do this for Android. You don't do that for you mostly do it for shapes, for ratios, or basically anything that you know that you want to resize, right? You can also do that for this is an iPhone frame now. Okay, this is a rectangle, sorry. Also, suppose I should be talking small, abi? Okay. This is an iPhone frame, guys, right? So when you bring in an iPhone frame, if you want to lock in the ratio, maybe you want everything to remain the same size, you can just click here and you need to make them equal first. You can see that the width is 122. So you're going to make the height to be what? 122, right? So now it's the same thing. So when you lock in the ratio and you want to reduce it to 100, everything is going to be what? 100. I hope you guys understand. Yes, Gift, you can go ahead.
Okay, I think what like the question I asked is the English that spoils everything. Like I was talking about like for grid setup. Now, if you want to set up grid for mobile, right? What we use as the margin and the gutter and the number of columns.
I showed you guys now.
Yeah, fine.
What are you saying?
Like I didn't exactly see it well, so that was like if you
Okay.
could give us one we could use.
Okay. So you go to columns, the count is 4 and then margin is 16. Yes, Liz, go ahead.
Okay, I just opened the app now. I just downloaded the app now, and I can't find this second line on your dashboard. After that first phone community, then that second one that has a Figma frame and the arrow and the box and shapes.
These ones.
Yes, those ones.
Okay, how does your canvas look like? Does it look like this?
I muted my mic. Yes, this is what it looks like.
Yes, then you click on new design file. You need to click
If
on
I
new
go to
design file.
recent,
Yes, click on new design file. Automatically, it's going to create a design file for you. You're going to see all of that. Okay?
oh, okay, thank you.
Yes, Liz, you have a question.
No, I'm the one that just asked the question now.
Okay, so you're still raising up your hand. That's why. Is the default ratio for the margin? Orok, do I need to still answer this question or it's clear already?
It's clear. I think
Okay.
Forest will be on that. Thank you.
It depends on the device you're designing for. Okay, good. Please, how do you mirror your project from your phone? Okay, good. You just have to download Figma on your phone, then that's the way you mirror your project. I really don't understand components and variables. Oh my gosh, Oluchi, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go over that again. I cannot explain variables today. How do I know when I have exceeded the homepage board when designing? Yetunde, how do you mean by homepage board?
Okay, so you know this the dark background you're working on now. How do you know when you've exited that page, or you just keep designing and designing?
You cannot exceed this canvas. Yeah. Have you
Okay.
used the hand tool? See now, you're gonna keep going, like you're gonna keep going and going and going. It's a lot. You cannot exceed. It's not possible.
Okay. All right. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just to be clear, after doing your design, you download and insert in your mockup. Yes, exactly. So after doing your design, you export in PNG, most preferably, and then you insert in your mockups. There are mockup plugins that you can use in your designs, apart from the one that is in the library that Figma automatically gives to you. What's the count and margin for a layout grid for your phone? I just did that. Please, Oluchi, don't tell me that you did not see it. I literally,
Yeah.
is it
No.
gifts or
I saw it.
okay, okay. Think I was about to faint now. Okay, you said you've answered already. Okay. So for the components, I'm just going to go over that shortly, just very quickly, right? So that you can just go back and watch the recording. When you bring in your text, right? This is your text. Automatically, let me bring this down. I put it in what? Center alignment, because I want my button to be what? My button text to be in the middle of the button. Sorry, to be in the middle of the frame that will be housing the button. Then I'm going to click on Shift A, right? Shift A, you can see that here it is center aligned. That's the way I want it. I'm going to add what? I'm going to add a color to it. So let me add red. Now this is my button. If I don't want padding space, I can remove the padding space, but it's not going to look good. Can you see? That's why padding space is always good. I'm going to remove this gap between them. I'm going to give padding space of 8 and padding space of 8. Can you see? This is my button, right? Now, I'm going to name it what? If this is the primary color in your design, you can simply name it what? Primary what? Button. Right? Then I'm going to click here and click on what? Create a component. Once you click on that, automatically it is made a component. Can you see now? Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to move to page. Just click click on it, right click, and then you're going to see move to page. I'm going to move it to what? Component page. Because this page is for my what? For my visual designs. Now, wherever I want to use that button, right? Let me bring in a website. Now, this is a website frame, and I want to use that button I just created. I'm going to go to my assets, right? Oluchi, are you listening? Then you click on, when you click on you click on this drop down you have here. Oh, somebody said I'm talking too fast. Okay, so when you go to your assets, you click on the drop down, then you click on created in this file, which means that it's going to only show all of the assets that have been created in the file. Assets are what? Components. These are just all the components, the variants that are going to be used in the file. I'm going to click on that, and you can now see it. You now bring in the button. So you bring in the button wherever you want to use it. See, I'm going to bring in the button here. Now, this is where I want my button to be. Do you understand? This automatically what? A component. Now, if I go and change anything the component is going to change here, let's experiment. I'm going to go to my components page, right? Now, let's look for that the component I just brought in. This is it. Let me bring it close to this one. This is right. Now, I'm going to do what? I'm going to change it to what? Login. I've changed it here. Oh. Now, let's go back to my design. Can you see?
Yeah.
That is why component is very good. It's very easy. Now, what I did now has saved me time. Instead of me having to create another button again and start doing all of these things and doing, I will just go back there and do what. That's why it is good to create a component of most of the asset that you're going to be using in your file. So that you can just always bring in, if you want to change, you just go there and change. So imagine that I've used this button in so many places in this design. Automatically, it's going to change everywhere. Do you see that? Now let's experiment something. This is assets, right? Let's bring in create an account. I have my create an account here, right? I'm going to Control D and bring an account here. I want to have another button here, right? I'm going to Control D and do another one here. Now this is where I want the buttons in my design. But now I want the text to be different amongst all of them. Because if I now, and the thing is, if I go to component, this is a question, guys, listen. I already have this component, right, in the design. But now I want this text to be log in and I want this one to be get started. But the problem is if I go to my component and change it from the component section here to log in, it's going to affect the the three different buttons in design. Now, what do I do? Now, what do you do, guys?
You highlight the ones you want to change,
Yes.
and then
So I think you select the one you want to change.
Select the one you want to change and then do what?
And then go back to components and change.
Wow. Okay. So now I want to change this one to what? To get started. You're saying I should go back to what? To my component and change it here, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. Now let's do that. Get.
Don't do that too.
No, 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 no. Wait. We're experimenting, guys. You don't have to say don't do that. This is experimenting. We want to believe this is an idea. So if you have an idea, we're going to experiment it. She said I should do this, so let's do it. Get started. Right? I have it here. So I'm going to go back to my visual design and this is what I have.
Oh, whoops. That's wrong.
Okay. So another idea, guys. What do you think I should do? Because I want to have create an account here and I want to have login here. How do I effect the changes without altering the what? Without altering this design style?
You just click on the text, like double click on it so that you can edit it, then edit it manually. Like just type what you want to change, yeah, on the buttons. Did you hear me?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said you would click on the text on each of the buttons, then you can edit the text, then you edit the text, and so the change will just be on the particular button itself, and not it won't like affect the rest buttons. So like
Okay, so
this
you're
gets
saying that I'm
started.
going to click on this one now and change it to what? To create an account. Okay. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I should do the same thing here, right?
Yeah, and type what you want there.
Okay. Is this correct, guys?
Yes.
Does anybody have a different idea? Okay. Orox says is correct. Anybody has a different idea? Okay. So this is actually correct. This is just the better way to do this. You just have to click and then edit the text because when you go back to the component, it alters for the rest of the words of the design. So this is the best way to go about it. Thank you very much for that, John. And then you can see that when I was trying to increase the text for different text, it is resizing itself due to the what? Due to the component size that I gave you. So you can always increase. You can always manually what increase. Remember, guys, button size needs padding space. You can see that this button looks better than the previous one. Can you see? There's a lot of padding space for what? For the button, for the text to breathe. This is too clustered. Can you see, guys? So you need to give the same thing with this login. This cannot be. Have you ever seen a button like this before? In all the mobile applications that you use? No. You always see buttons like this because you need what? You need enough padding space for what? For users actually what? Press and then see that this is actually what? A button. Every design principle that is being followed is to what? Is to guide the users at the end of the day. And that's why you have what? UX research. So that's going to be the end of this class, guys. I believe I've answered all the whole question we have in the box, right? Any other question before I call it a day?
No.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. I believe I answered everybody's question and you guys understand. Once again, ensure that you practice. It's not like after we're done with this class now, you go and close your laptop. Please practice, guys. Practice. Even if it's 2 hours every day, it is something. Practice. If you don't practice, you're never going to, it's not a course. You are not going to know it. That's the truth, guys. That's why there are things that people say, and people are always like, oh, ah, Mashekwe for me, or don't cost me or something like that. I'm like, no, it's not a course. If you put in the work, you're going to see the result out of it. But if you don't, you're not going to see any result. That's how it works. It's not magic. You can see that the way I'm actually teaching now, and you're seeing that automatically, automatically, um, Yetunde downloaded. Maybe it's because she's like she has the liberty to do that, or she's like she's not busy or something. She downloaded the app and then she started learning or something. And then let's say, for example, Oluchi just finishes up the class and then she just closes her laptop and then she's just resting for the weekend. Maybe because she's had like a very stressful week because of work or something, right? Those reasons are valid. It's not like they're not valid. But at the end of the day, you really have to make sacrifices, right? You don't say because you're able to get into a class that teaches UI UX without without you paying any money for it, and then you're going to take it for granted. There are a lot of classes out there that you have to pay money for it. And then the point is there are people that still even pay. Even with the money that they pay for self, they're not so serious with it. So it's about creating time, no matter how difficult your busy schedule is, right? Please create time. If it is 2 hours, you can do every day. If you cannot do every day, just multiply it and say, okay, if it's going to be twice a week, I'm going to be doing 4 hours. If it's going to be your weekend, dedicate 4 hours, 5 hours to make up. Trust me, you are going to learn better and you're going to learn a lot. Do you understand, guys? So that's it. There's no assignment. This is introduction to Figma. I can't start. There's no assignment. Maybe the next class I'm going to have with you guys, depending on what I'm going to teach, I'm going to give you guys an assignment. For now, just go and practice this. I know everybody that attended my class today. And if I'm the one teaching you high fidelity designs or anything visual design related in the next class, and you ask me questions on auto layout, oh, my father, it is gift that's going to help me to answer that person. It's gifts that will help me to answer the person. That's what I can see. Because I have explained now, and I'm saying that ask your questions in the group if you practice later on, if you have any problem. It's not the next class. I will not be hearing, ah, ma, I don't understand how to lay out. I'll just first of all check your name and say, okay, this person was not in my last class. Okay, let me just explain. But if you're in my last class and you are demanding an explanation again, I will just refer you to go and watch the class recording. Physical class? No, 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 there's no physical class, Paul, please. Everybody's really so busy within physical classes. Do you know what physical classes mean? Well, I think Paddy Code is looking into that. I think I might speak to Inse about that. He's looking into that, but not now. It might be much later, and possibly you guys might be like maybe 2 years into design, maybe as a career or something, but it's not really going to be now, honestly speaking. But we're going to look into that. And then you can also drop it in the group chat so that Mr. Nancy can see it. Let him see that you guys would want physical classes, or you guys would be interested in having physical classes. Okay? All right, no problem. So I'm going to have to go now. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. It was a very
Thank you
interactive
so much.
class. What did you say?
Oh, I said thank you so much for today's class.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. So thank you guys for having I really had an interactive class with you guys, and thank you so much for that. So I'm going to see you guys in the next class. Okay? Bye, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very